Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Dan Vega. Welcome to Tuesdays with Dan. We're excited to have you. Appreciate you coming out tonight. Appreciate you watching at home. I've been getting letters all week asking people, what is Tuesdays with Dan? What are we going to try to accomplish with the show? And I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I get a lot of people asking me if I do personal coaching. And I have done it for a long time, but I just can't reach the amount of people that we're wanting to reach. And my vision personally is to reach a lot more people than I have the time to sit down with. And so Tuesdays with Dan is a great opportunity for us to come together once a week, right from your living room, and really learn one valuable lesson. And what we want to accomplish with the show is if that's all somebody has, they can't afford to have more coaching than that, they don't have the time to close their doors and go out and find a coach or a mentor. We want to accomplish it to where if that's all they had, it's going to be enough to make a really valuable difference in their business or personal life. And so we're excited. In fact, it kind of reminds me of a story that I heard recently of a person that they woke up one morning and there was a giant piece of granite that came right through their front yard. And it was so obtrusive, it blocked the view of just this huge piece of granite. And they thought, what are we going to do with this thing? And what he did is he went and got a chisel and a hammer, and he chiseled it away to an exact representation of a life-size elephant. I mean, just giant elephant grazing in this guy's front yard. And passersby are driving by saying, how in the world did he do that? And when asked, how did you chip away something so realistic without a working model to look at? And he says, when I was sitting there chipping, I chipped away everything that didn't look like an elephant, right? And that seems pretty funny, but really that's a lot of success, is chipping away those negative traits or chipping away those things that we've picked up over the years that have caused us to have a measure of unsuccess. So I think there's really two sides to success. One would be getting the right education, getting all of the right stuff so we know how to apply it to our business and personal life and have more success. But I think the other side of it, again, is when we close our eyes and we see that person we know we can be, the person we've always wanted to be, it's up to us to hone out those negative traits and really chip away anything that doesn't look like that person. So we're really excited to have you today. We'll be having a special guest, Dr. Tom Schneider, joining us soon. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here. Thank you. My first guest tonight, we're really excited to have. He's one of the top physicians in the country when it comes to preventative medicine. He actually graduated from Georgetown, and he's taught at some of the top facilities in the country, including Harvard Medical Center, Johns Hopkins, the National Institute of Health. He's also the author of the highly anticipated book coming out, of Physicians of Policy. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Tom Schneider. Hey, buddy.
What's happening, bro?
Great to see you.
Some love.
All right, Tom. Hey, it's a pleasure to have you. And, Tom, I know that you're looked at as one of the top physicians when it comes to preventative medicine or wellness, we could say.
Well, you're nice to say that.
Well, and the thing about wellness, I know that I'm looking at these self-help books. There's so much information out there, but is there a definition of what exactly is wellness?
I think that's the toughest question that I'm ever asked. And I've thought about it. I have lots of scientific definitions for it, but let me give you the two that I like the best. My wife has an aunt. She's 96, and she broke her hip. And about 4 years ago when she broke her hip, for those of you who don't know, in somebody 96, that is a terminal disease, breaking your hip. And I called her and I said to her, sister, and they call her sister. I'm from New England, but I guess in the South it's sister. So anyway, I love her dearly. So I said, sister, how are you feeling today? And she said, well, better than yesterday, Tommy. How'd you like that little impersonation?
It's great.
I know.
Brilliant.
And that's what she said, better than yesterday. Better than yesterday. Maybe that's the ticket. And so that's what I tell patients. It's being better today than yesterday. Now, by that, it depends on who you are. Somebody may say, oh, you mean I get to pump a little more iron? Whatever. If you're a pumper iron, that's fine. But to me, it means telling your spouse a compliment that you haven't done in a while. Or maybe it's just reading a book or thinking about taking up piano lessons. Whatever it is, it's doing something better today than yesterday. Wellness is really more a state of mind than a set of barbells. It's a mindset rather than a plate full of vegetables.
Yeah.
We call it a symphony because it's really all of them, but it has to start from the mind. A mind that says, I want to be better today than I was yesterday.
Well, Tom, you know, and I believe that I really don't look at diets as, you know, you get on a program for 6 or 8 weeks and then it's just, there's no something that's sustainable. And, you know, I think that there's so much information out there, and a lot of it isn't just a perspective of this or that. It's actually contradictory to what everybody else is saying.
Absolutely.
And there's so much information. How do we know what to believe? And there might even be a viewer out right now saying, well, this guy, he's got the credibility, he's taught at Harvard, but can we believe him?
Right, and that's a good question. If you're out there asking, should you believe me, the answer is no. Go to PubMed, you have the internet, you have lots of sources to find out where is the truth. But that's really what I try to do in my practice. It's two things. One is to go back to the word doctor. And I love teaching at Georgetown because when there are new students who are graduating and they're doctors, I now get to say, now you is one. You're a doctor, but what does it mean? And the answers are, I'm a healer. Oh, good for you. No, I'm a curer. That's what it means, cure. Would that we were. But the word doctor comes from the Latin docere, and it simply means to teach. So every mother out there, every father hopefully, is a teacher of their children, and that's a doctor. That's what the word means. So we try to get back to teaching. Now, I don't mean to keep talking because I want to get on your side of the fence and find out about you, but I want to finish that point by saying that what are we teaching? What do you think we're teaching? Bananas versus mangoes, jogging a mile versus... No, we're really trying to teach the truth. And why would I know about the truth? Whoa, I don't know, except that I do a lot of studying, and it's a very big part of my life because of my past history. Oh, what's your past history? So when I have a group together like this, I say, you know, I want to know what your wellness is. What's your health picture like? Are you all Haagen-Dazs, or do you throw in some kumquats every once in a while? So I have them raise their hands. Now, if you're embarrassed, I say, raise it on the inside so nobody can see. Just kind of raise it up there. So, okay, raise your hand if you've been 100 pounds or more overweight. Not too many people raise their hand. Raise your hand if you had diabetes, lost your kidneys, been on dialysis. That's a nasty one. How about, gout? That's miserable. Anybody have a perforated bowel? Anybody spent 4 months or more in an ICU, an intensive care unit? Ooh, that's the pits. Can't imagine that one. What's another thing? Cancer. Some cancer takers, they usually raise their hand. Raise your hand if you've had that, what's that heart stuff that scares people? Heart attack? And then they put these new things in. What do they call them?
Stents.
Yeah, I forgot. Thanks. Stents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more stents. Anybody? How about bypass? How about atrial fibrillation? Well, this is boring, so we're going to stop. So my last question to all of you is, raise your hand if you've had all of them and you're still alive. I got a Milky Way bar for you. I've got a Snickers squashed in my pocket for you if you raise your hand. And one person raises their hand. But I get to look around as they look, and I go, no, 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 no. One person has their hand up. That would be me. So that's been my health history from 1994 on. I'm not necessarily proud of that history, but it does mean that you can survive, that you can have happiness every day, and that you can do the best that you can for yourself by taking the helm of this healthy living boat that you have and making some very valid choices. And that's what it's all about. It's not about, you have high blood pressure, here's your pill. How long are you going to take it for? The rest of your life. I don't think so. Why do you have high blood pressure? Ooh, that 25th letter of the alphabet. Ain't that an important letter? Yes, ma'am, it is.
Well, this is great stuff, Doc. I appreciate it. And when we come back, I want to talk about bioidentical hormones and exactly what they are and how they work. So
Great.
Stay with us.
Love it.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, Tom, one thing I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned briefly Suzanne Summers, and I know she has a couple of incredible books out talking about bioidentical hormones. And in fact, a great friend of mine, Ed Harding, he swears by her book. And I know you're one of the leading doctors on that as well. Can you tell me exactly what are bioidentical hormones and how do they work?
And bioidentical hormones, you can just take the word apart. Biological, identical. So they're identical to the hormones that are within your own body. And they have long names, testosterone and insulin and estrogen and progesterone. And you've all heard some of them, but they all need to work in concert. Now, as we age, I haven't started that path yet, but as we age, we're going to lose some of those. They start to deplete. And some of them actually go up a bit. So we want to balance it, essentially. Bioidentical hormones are made from soy products. They're made from yams. And that's done by a compounding pharmacist. So you can't go to the local pharmacist where you get your Bayer aspirin, ooh, can't use name, and ask for bioidentical estrogen or bioidentical progesterone. They're made by a special physician, or really a pharmacist, who is certified in doing it. It's all very individualized, so you have to pick a specific physician who is extremely well trained in dealing with bioidentical natural hormones. And I have yet to have a woman come in that's 45 or older whose testosterone level is normal.
Really?
Yes. Now every guy out there is saying, testosterone, I know that stuff. I don't know what that stuff is, doc. But they don't. Right. Testosterone is a hormone, 60% of it works where? Nope, in the heart. 35% works where? Nope, in the brain. 5% is libido. But a 50-year-old who comes into me and says, Doc, I work down on, oh, you know the name of that. What's the street down there off of, no, it's cognition. You can't remember the street you work on? Cognition, going down. I'm glad you fell for that one.
I'm easy, Tom.
You are
I'm
easy.
to get.
So cognition, a big deal. I had multiple heart problems, as I mentioned at the beginning. Was I put on testosterone by my doctors? No. The group of us that formed a preventive program, I went on in 1994, and I would not be here were it not for it, I guarantee you.
Right. Wow.
There is a very simple plan. You need to find somebody that's sane, that can put it together for you and make it easier. But there are simple plans. Diet plan. I use a hand. Really, yes. The palm, that's the size of the meat, fish, or chicken, or poultry that you want to use. Really, yeah. I want you to have a snack. What? Peanut butter. How much? Thumb's worth. How much butter can I use? Pinky's worth. I like mayonnaise on my sandwich. Half of this. Really, yeah. I want to have some salad. Cup. I want to have fruit. Cup. I want to have vegetables. Cup. I can eat a lot more than that. I know you can. We all can, and we all do, and that's why we're all overweight. Now, how about you? I was told that I was coming to 60 Minutes.
Oh, yeah, well, hey.
And I'd like to know.
We've almost been here 60 minutes.
And I'd like to know, tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved in this and what the audience would like to know.
Well, the short version, you know, I'm from the LA area, and don't hold it against me. But I actually, from a very poor to middle class family, we actually, I was a terrible student in school. I think I graduated high school with like a 0.7 grade point average. I just didn't get traditional education. But for some reason, since I was very young, I've always been really good with math. And so early on, a lot of people took notice of that, and I was fortunate enough that people over the years took interest in me. But when I was 18 and a half, I actually got in a car accident, and I wasn't really that injured, although you might tell me different after we do our exams. But I actually, they paid for my vehicle, and they gave me $5,000. And to me, that was like a ton of money. So I thought, you know, I'm going to start my own business. And for me, business was always pretty easy. I guess I'll say the making money side of things. I've always been able to make a lot of money. I didn't have any good habits. I didn't know how to save money. I didn't know the importance of credit. I didn't know any of the rules, but I knew how to make it. And so I traveled the country opening up businesses either selling them or turning them over. And fortunately for me, I drew the interest of some really great, successful people, even billionaires that said, hey, you're an idiot, kid, come listen to us. And they took a little bit of interest in me. And so I always had a rule of, try to do twice as much listening as talking. And for me, that's a lot of listening. So my goal, I guess, was to always try to find that room, where you're the dumbest guy in the room. And if I start feeling like people are coming to me for advice and I'm kind of becoming that person, I'm looking for a new room that I can, constantly grow in. And so I've been very fortunate. I've worked with some great people, and the last 4 years I've been primarily focusing more on just the education, giving back, traveling the country, and also internationally doing seminars and helping people in the economy. A lot of people are scrambling right now with the down economy. I personally believe it's a fantastic economy. I don't wish anybody, ill will or to lose their homes or anything, but I think that right now, and I don't know if you agree, the times that we're living in right now financially, I think there's tons of opportunity right now for people that are proactive. This is a great medium for me to come together every week and help as many people as we can. So
continue to grow. And you were kind enough to tell me a personal story about turmoil or near disaster in your life and how it actually changed your thinking. And I really think that's key to most people who've made that change that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Something happens and you learn to grow from it.
Yeah,
1994 for me was the down domino effect of disease, and suddenly I had to switch from being a head and neck cancer surgeon, which was cancer, take, cut, out, good, now move on, to wait a minute, maybe there's another aspect of this. We shouldn't get the cancer in the first place. Now that's a novel thought, but it was that transition for me that drove me down the path of preventive medicine.
Tom, I know what I read on your bio, and I did a little research into you, and I saw that you've had some near-death experiences. I saw that you were shot down was it Vietnam? You were shot down, and we had talked a little bit about a similar situation happening to me. I was in Africa last February on a trip. We were talking about the economy with the government.
Exactly, yeah.
And we got ambushed at an intersection with weapons, and it was really, when those things happen, as you know, they say that your life flashes in front of your face, and it really does. It was so hairy. They break into the car and we're scrambling, and my thought was, how's my wife going to fare without me?
Right.
How long is it going to take her to get the news back in the States? And at that time, it was, really figure out life, and you prioritize the things that you're doing in life. And I really came home. It was a miracle I got out of the situation. But I came home and I really reevaluated my priorities, and family has become much more important to me. I've been a lot more active with my beliefs and things, and I know you know what that's like. And you mentioned earlier that you felt success was a state of mind. Every great successful person that I've ever interviewed, every person I've ever sat down with, we all agree that success is a state of mind, and we can almost narrow it down to a day even, where we say, I'm tired of being a schlep, this is it, I'm done. You almost resign, and you just kind of quit. And the next day, you really, there's a transformation that takes place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what I believe, and I really see that you have a similar line of thinking, is it's all about discipline. It's about creating good habits.
And that's what I tell my patients.
Yeah.
They need to decide and commit to themselves, not to me. Are you going to make a written commitment to yourself every night?
Yeah.
5 Post-its every night. One thing, not I'm going to lose 40 pounds. No, you're not. You're not going to lose 40 pounds. You're going to lose a half a pound in the next week if you put down the plan, the game plan. But it has to be every single day a commitment.
Yeah, and if you can't commit to walking 30 minutes a day and never eating this or that, commit to walking 10 minutes a day and only having a cupcake twice a week.
Exactly.
But commit to something.
Something.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for being with us out of your busy schedule. I'm excited about the book coming out. I'm excited to see the documentary. And I've learned so much already. I feel like I've been doing everything wrong for the past 42 years. So come back, and we'd love to have you anytime, okay?
It's a promise.
Hey, thank you very much. Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. You know, one thing I really want you to take away from the show today is whether you're looking at a thing to improve your health or you're looking at improving your financial situation, I think it all starts with committing. We got to make a commitment to do something every day. Many of us maybe have been raised in an atmosphere or a family where we didn't learn good habits. Maybe we didn't learn good financial habits, we didn't learn good habits, or we observed bad habits when it came to our eating. And I think we have to commit to something and forget the crazy fad diets, forget those hard exercise programs that aren't going to have any lasting benefits, or maybe they're so hard we can't stick with them. But if we commit to something small every day, I think that long term we can have better health and we can have a better financial situation. And you know, I really want to give special thanks to my guest, Tom Schneider. He's an amazing guy, and yeah, a lot of value. And I really want to pick up his book, Physician's Apology, due out this summer, as well as check out the documentary, Bridging the Gap, due out this fall. That's our show for tonight, guys. I want to give a special thanks to Dr. Tom Schneider for being with us. And don't forget to get involved in your local communities and be forgiving of others. Thank you. Good night. Hi, I'm Dan Vega, and thank you for watching our channel. I want to take a second to tell you about a resource that's helping thousands of people across the country, Blue University. Blue University is the premier online business school for entrepreneurs and business leaders. You know, if you find yourself in a day-to-day grind where you've lost your joy or you're just tired of struggling, then check out blue.university. That's BLU.university. I can promise that you receive nothing short of a multi-million-dollar education. And if you want a completely different life in 3 to 6 months and a way to create wealth in 5 years or less, then again, check it out. That's BLU.university. Find out why blue is the new color of success. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel or to give us a good rating, but that's only if you see value. And when you do receive value, make sure to share it with someone else. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.